Many strange living things have passed by Earth. A few have delved into its atmosphere. Few have landed, and even fewer have contacted those living below. This case is a rare one of extraterrestrial contact. Between 2 and 3 a.m., December 16th, 1957. Old Saybrook, Connecticut, USA. A flash of light startled her awake. Did she somehow sleep through her alarm? Was it noon? No. The light was too bright. So painfully bright, like stadium lights pointed directly into her bedroom. And the room was hot and dry. Groggy, she stumbled to the window and pulled its curtains aside. She easily saw what beamed from the second floor. It looked like an airplane had crashed. Jagged, torn in two, it hovered 10 feet away, above her clothesline. It hovered above it. Shocked, confused, and on alert, she studied the object floating midair. It was large, 20 to 30 feet long, a dark gray or black color with brightly lit square windows on its side. At first she thought it was a lost and unfortunate troop carrier, but it was no plane. Behind the craft's windows, two things moved around. Based on how squashed the ship was, they could be no taller than 4 feet. They stretched and bobbed and slithered by like two fat worms acting as stewards. Passing each other, both held their right arm in the air like they were balancing a tray. At least, it looked sort of like an arm. The appendage had no discernible features, no hands, no fingers, no claws, no suction cups. The long red growth connected to a strange, sickly yellow body that flared out like a long skirt. Most frightening, however, were their big, translucent, cube-shaped helmets. Or were they their heads? Inside each was a perfectly round, glowing reddish-orange bulb. As the things paced inside, the balls seemed motionless, fixed in place. With horror, she realized her room was no longer bright white, but an upsetting red. She could feel the orb's vibrant glow with a million electric tingles. The balls were fixated on her. A third figure came into view. Leaning forward to get a better look, she was blinded. Light beamed not only from within the ship, but its outer hull. The light hurt. As it intensified, she felt her skin crisp. Frozen in place, she watched as the craft began to move. It angled up and down as a 6-inch antenna sprouted from its left side, pulsating and sparkling with the same red color of the beings. The things inside stilled, watching her. Then, the antenna and its light retracted, and the ship dulled to a bluish gray. Both windows disappeared like a closing sliding door and extinguished the red glow. Shifting on a horizontal plane, rotating at different angles, the craft dodged a blue spruce and her tool shed with impossibly tight angles. Small lights lined the bottom of the ship, and it paused, transforming into a more elliptical shape. Quivering, the ship shot directly upward, as fast as a jet. Her deep, shaky exhale was the only sound she'd heard in the last 5, or was it 50, minutes. The din of the marsh returned, as if all living creatures outside had been holding their breath too. Dubbed the Saybrook Blockhead, The strange alien spotted that early winter morning by Mary M. Starr was not the first encounter with its kind. Hers was only the first publicly available, publicly persistent account that featured a creature. Several weeks before her sighting, nearly 40 reddish objects were reported over the marsh. Some were large and oblong, others smaller, duller, and more cigar-shaped. The first sighting of these Old Saybrook UFOs occurred the year before. As with Starr's encounter, a plethora of unusual activity and red objects were spotted in the sky. The largest and brightest spotted only 2 days before its tracked descent in 1956. Stealthy and especially non-reflective, it traveled through space undetected at impossible speeds, only drawing notice at the end of its journey. Nothing could be done. It could only be observed, then met, collected later. And pieces of the ship were collected. Those within, however, scattered. Some evaded capture. 2 led to more encounters that same year.
Yeah.